This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English. Man, we are so happy to have you here.
Yes.
We have set up a show filled with today's talk and tomorrow's trends.
And you are a huge part of the show.
Absolutely.
In fact, you drive this show, and in order for you to get involved, you got to get in touch with this guy, Sweet Baby
Hey!
I made it.
SBJ, what's up, man?
Hey, you can watch us on over 219 stations across this great country and growing, including our social media channels and the Great American Forces Network. I say all that because I also want you to go to dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch to see where we are in your neck of the woods, because I want you to comment on the question of the day.
And what is the question of the day?
So the question of the day is, what's something you enjoy as you get much
Oh,
older?
laundry. I love doing laundry.
What?
Come on, man.
I will come to your house.
What?
Here's the only stipulation. I will come to your house and do your laundry. No problem. Well, especially yours.
Oh, yeah.
However, I will gladly wash it and fold it. I would love to fold, but I'm not putting them away. I
Really?
hate putting away clothes.
Yeah.
I love folding it. I think what it is the OCD of learning how to get or just getting all the piles all in order. So laundry would be it.
Are you color coded? So
Yes,
color
100%.
my closet.
Now, the only before I got married, I had a huge closet, and when Liza first time came over, she's like, "Oh my God," she's like, "Sleeping with the enemy." I go, "No, it's not that." But I go, "Let me explain." And I have a color chart that I'm like, it makes it easy. And by the way, guys, every guy should go online or go and buy a color chart. You find the color. Let's say if it's orange. And then you just go on the opposite and it's blue, so I know what to match with. And God told me how to do it.
Yeah.
And so I had it all laid out. It was easier for me.
Yeah,
do you have anything that you enjoy?
Definitely not laundry.
Well, then I'm coming over.
Yeah, okay,
Tell
please
Alan
do.
I'll be there.
I'm trying to think. What was that? Something happened the other day. Sweeping. I know that sounds strange, but there's something really relaxing about sweeping. I really enjoy that. Yeah, yeah. Sweeping.
Honestly, I enjoy doing things that takes me out of my comfort zone.
Like what?
Good
So,
for you.
like coaching was something out of my comfort zone.
Coaching, okay.
Yeah, when I became a coach.
Are you
it was,
serious?
yeah, because I had
Yeah.
stepped away from coaching. I mean, I stepped away from football for 20 years.
Right.
I left that in the rear view. Then when my son started playing,
Wow.
it was like, you know what? Let me step out and try, because you never know how the kids are going to react and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. So I stepped out of my comfort
James,
zone.
and I've said this many times, the only way, that's good, that's awesome to hear, is that the only way you ever progress in life is doing things you don't like to do.
Right.
And it has to hurt you. And Tony Robbins says it's either inspiration or desperation that's going to motivate you to do something.
Yeah.
And so if it's something that you have to get through, you did it because you had to, or somebody's inspired you to do it. But either way, you have to sacrifice something, and you have to be uncomfortable to do it.
Yeah.
And and I look back, there was I enjoyed doing stand-up for a while, and I quit doing it because I'm like, I'm old and I don't get it. And so I said, remember, did I ever tell you about my motorcycle ride on January 1st and the ice storm? Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
All right, that's for another show. And I made that promise to God. I said, if you can get me, I was driving, this is so stupid, on a motorcycle in January in an ice storm where I was headed back to Oklahoma City, and the Jim Cantori was in Oklahoma City saying, it's an ice storm, stay off the roads. And I had hypothermia. And I made a promise to God. I said, listen, if you get me just home safe, I will do all these things. I was making sure that I could do everything. I said, I'll get back up on stage and I'll do things that I don't like, and I'll get my finances in order, and I'll get my life together, yada, yada. And I was very uncomfortable doing it. But I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
It took driving a motorcycle on
Through an ice
January
storm.
1st through an ice storm to
Everything.
do that.
So it
Anyway,
changed
so
your
I love
trajectory.
what you said, that you do that. That's one thing that you like. That's
I
awesome.
love it now.
That is
man.
great.
Yeah, the amount of coaches, though, I would say this before we go.
Yeah, why would you
The
want to
amount
coach
of coaches. Why I didn't want? I just, my experience with football changed everything. I was like, I understand the politics and the business of it. And I did it way before we had all this stuff happening. But I can tell you this, man, it's a small community.
Yeah.
Coaching?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
everybody who's worth something knows somebody. So
And-
shout out to Georgia Tech, Tennessee, Michigan State, UCF.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Is that James, you did something that was very uncomfortable, and I don't know, did you have any success on your coaching?
I know, man. You know, first year coaching, we won the state championship.
All right!
Yeah, baby.
First time the school ever had, right?
First time, first time in school history, yep.
That's amazing. No, I was just gonna say, I think sometimes when you see when you love something as much as football, and you did, and you've had your moments with it, and now you're back coaching. Sometimes I think when you see the wizard behind the green curtain, that whole Wizard of Oz idea, like it kind of takes a lot of the specialness away from it, right?
Yeah,
because then
it does.
you know the machinations behind the scenes, right? And then you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like that as much.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. When you
Today
see
is
how the
even
sausage is made, so to speak.
Hold on a second.
Machinations.
Use machinations.
I knew what I
Use it
said.
in a sentence.
We've been together so long. I love that word. It's great. I'm gonna use that.
Okay, check this out. Amazon's Alexa is going full on SaaS, and some customers are not having it.
Yesterday, I'm just adding stuff to my list again, and I said, licorice. And she said, oh, I see you still really have that sweet tooth. And she says it with like a little attitude. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I was like, Alexa, never comment on my groceries again. And she's like, oh, I see that's a sensitive subject for you. I'll keep my comments to myself from now on. What? I'm gonna unplug that thing.
Wow.
Amazon is rolling out a new adults-only sassy mode. Okay, it's the sassy mode, giving the voice assistant a sharper tongue and the occasional swear word, believe it or not. It's for users who prefer their tech with a side of attitude. New style joins a growing roster of Alexa personalities, including brief, chill, and sweet. Now, before you flip the switch, though, Amazon wants to make sure the kitties are not listening. The company says users will have to complete additional security checks in the Alexa app before enabling the feature, and the personality won't be available when Amazon Kids is turned on. The update, part of a broader push by Amazon to give Alexa Plus more personality. Do these things need more personality? Yeah.
Do they? They're going. It's going to. It's scary, but I think it's important that. Look at that. That's one of the words that's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So
she
they're
cusses.
not playing around.
Oh yeah. She's super sassy.
So on my way into work today, I saw the gas prices, and I said, "Hey, how much?" I always kind of gauge how most expensive, how much is, and I asked ChatGPT, Scarlett, that's what I call her. I said, "How much is gas in California?" And she told me it was like $5.40, and here in Florida it was like $400. And I'm like, "Okay." I didn't say anything. I was driving down this road here, and I pulled in. Somebody's in my parking space, and I go, "What the?" And she goes, "Yeah, I know. That's pretty loud." She was still listening to me because I was just driving by myself. And she didn't turn off. She goes, "Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy on this." And I go, No, I wasn't talking to you. I found myself talking back and forth because, and I think that's where this is headed, because they want you to feel more comfortable with it.
Which is a little terrifying.
No, it is?
Yeah, I mean, and this is the hook I think a lot of these AI companies are looking for to make their assistants feel more human. Many have been experimenting with different tones, different styles, different personas to keep users engaged.
Well, I mean,
James,
do you remember Kit?
Yes, of course.
So,
Knight Rider.
but have you watched the last Alien? The Alien that's on Hulu?
No.
Yeah, okay. So we're moving towards this where you feel more and more comfortable talking to it like a person. Right? So it's all we're doing is training the algorithm, training the program right
which
now.
makes me very
so,
nervous.
you know, when you have the wife who's not human, who's synthetic,
Okay.
now you're in a situation where she can compliment you and talk to you.
That's the
back and
problem.
forth.
Yeah.
They need to. They'll only give you what you want because that's what we want as humans. Is what we want.
Unless you tell it not to. Remember, we're getting to a point where we can dictate who we want next to us as a person.
There's a new show on Prime called Scarpetta, and one of the characters has lost their significant other, and she ends up recreating her in AI form, and she continues to engage with her. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't think that's smart. But then I can see the pros to it too. Like, you know, you're getting through grief, and at least you still have some spirit of that person in front of you, but it's an AI version.
Yeah.
And at what point do you let go?
Well, when you have older people, they need somebody.
Yes, and that's a good point too for companionship. But it's sort of.
But they did fine without it. For how many years, you know? I mean, I know we say that, we justify it that way,
that's
but
a good point.
but you're 100% right. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know how you react as well. We would love to hear what you have to think about this. Of course, our website's always open for you, flash at dailyflashshow.com, but we're not going to leave you without a question, are we?
No, before we go, what was the first feature-length animated film ever nominated for a Best Oscar? The answer, coming up next.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question correct or not. The question once again, what is the first feature-length animated film ever nominated for a Best Picture Oscar? If you said Beauty and the Beast, you got it right. A lot of people thought it was maybe like Snow White, but it was. This is for Best Picture altogether, so nominated. Okay. And it's an animated as well. A romantic breakup, boy, that could be devastating. It can lead to a pretty bad downward spiral, but it doesn't have to define actually who you are. In fact, it actually can be a positive driver for change. Joining us now with more is recovery expert Lora Cheadle. Lora, thank you so much for joining us. I imagine everybody watching this, including myself, has gone through this. I want to start off with a quote of yours, which is, what shapes our lives isn't the event itself, it's who we become after it. First off, I wholeheartedly agree with you, but explain that in more detail.
Yeah, exactly. When something bad happens to us, it's so easy to get caught in that downward spiral and to start replaying all of the bad things. And first this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Yeah. And then, pretty soon we're sucked in. And when we take our focus off of the past, off of the train wreck, what happened, and we start moving towards the future and thinking things like, well, who can I become because of this? How can I feel differently? What else might be possible for me? It just changes the whole trajectory of the experience. Yeah. And we start, looking for all of those positives.
I kind of, when I was dating, after my divorce, I started dating, single for quite some time. But somebody had once told me, is like, you know what? A relationship should be like what they taught you in the Boy Scouts with a campground, is that you should leave it better than you were before. And that is a lot of self-discovery and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, that comes a lot of times at the end of the relationship. And once I realized I'm dating the people that I don't want to marry so I could find the right one, it kind of helped me out. But why otherwise are romantic breakups or maybe even betrayal events, why do they hurt so deeply?
Oh, they hurt so bad because it impacts our identity. It's not just, oh, this bad thing happened and it doesn't say anything about me. It's me. It's who I am.
You know, a lot of people will say that there is lots of changes that happen when people kind of move away or if something happened to them and kind of they change who they are. What actually changes when people move away from those people that they were romantically involved with?
Well, it's hard. It's destabilizing because all of these expectations that you had about yourself and the relationship and what it means I'm worthy, it means I'm chosen, it means I found the one.
Yes.
You know, people get so focused on what these singular events mean. And then when you have to move away from that, we feel lost. We feel not good enough. We internalize that something is wrong with me instead of stepping back, looking at the broader picture and realizing, you know what? Maybe this is good. Maybe this is bad. Maybe it just doesn't mean anything at all, but it's a change. And I have to navigate my way through the change. And, what is possible for me on the other side? How can I become someone better or different, just like you were saying earlier?
You know, that saying, you find out who you marry when you divorce them. You find out, and relationships, people change throughout the time. When you get to the point where you realize, well, this is just not working out, is it because you gave them so much vulnerability that it hurts more because of the fact that, I gave this person so much and I didn't get back what I wanted? Are we investing too much? Are we thinking too much about ourselves?
I mean, that's definitely a part of it. A lot of it really, really goes back to our expectations. And sometimes we have very unrealistic expectations in relationships, but we don't know it. We don't understand that they're unrealistic expectations because sometimes we haven't even verbalized what they are. It's just that somebody's not meeting our needs and we don't really know why. So to your point earlier, it's about that self-discovery. what do I want in this relationship? What am I expecting somebody else to do? Where can I step up? Where am I stepping up too much? And ultimately, what is going to work out for me and for this person so we can both become better versions of who we are?
And are you saying that betrayal actually, could that be maybe a doorway to figuring out those things you just mentioned, including clearer, say, boundaries and maybe even some of that self-trust and maybe just making a change altogether?
Yeah, absolutely. I know when I went through betrayal, it was the most enlightening experience. On the one hand, it was the most painful. On the other hand, it was the experience. It was the catalyst that finally made me realize all of the ways I was abandoning myself, all of the ways that I was relying on other people in an unfair way. And it did give me the opportunity to become clearer in myself, clearer in my boundaries, to really know who I was and just to become a stronger human.
Okay, so Lora, it seems like when you are breaking up with somebody, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna live again, just yada, yada, yada. And so I'm talking to the people that are friends with those people, okay, when I ask this question. What do we say to people that are maybe going through a breakup or have gone through a breakup? Because normally we go, well, it'll be okay, you're gonna find somebody better, that sort of thing. But I'm expecting to hear that. Is there a way that we could help that person even more in realizing that this could be a great learning experience?
Yeah, definitely. I think first and foremost, offering a little bit of compassion and giving them a space to breathe, because a breakup is traumatic and it is difficult. And then I think second, asking them questions, asking them future-focused questions,
Okay.
forward-leaning questions is really a good way to get them to move into the future instead of ruminate on the past.
It's important to do that too, but it's so true, right? It's like you are going to be a better person if you handle this right, because you're going to realize on the other side of this is something wonderful, and you're going to wind up like I did, finding a beautiful, understanding woman that I had to date those other people. Nothing wrong with them. To find her, though. So I love everything that you say. I think it's great. And you at home, if you know somebody that's going through a breakup, or maybe you're going through one, you can find out more information and check out Lora's book. It's called It's Not Burnout, It's Betrayal. Just visit LoraCheadle.com and you can get that book there. Thank you so much for joining us. We got more Daily Flash coming up right now. By the way, we'll have links on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Go check it out now. Everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's Thursday, which means it's time to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters is the horror comedy Mimics.
You wish someone would waltz in and wave a magic wand, catapult your career, make everything perfect for you.
It doesn't have to be like this. I have something that can change everything.
I'm the one who can make all your dreams come true.
A down-on-his-luck impressionist makes a pact with a wicked puppet to propel him to stardom, unleashing a nightmare threatening the safety of those he holds dear. I chatted with the film stars Stephen Tobolewsky and Christopher Polaha, who also directs.
I would say one thing is be careful of who you make your deals with. That we all have the same future inevitably, but what fills that future is going to be the love that we fill our life with.
Yeah, and again, same thing. You gotta. I guess my question would be, what are you willing to die for?
Yeah.
Do you want to belong to the world, or do you want to belong to yourself and possess, community, love, your parents, your wife, your kids, or, so it's a cautionary tale.
Mimics is simply a fun, creepy, and romantic film not to be missed. It's one of the best horror comedies I've seen in a long time. Again, it's playing in selected theaters now and gets an A. It's rated PG-13. Streaming on Disney Plus is the romantic biodrama Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
John, I want to introduce you to Carolyn Bessette. Carolyn, this is John Kennedy. Hi. Sorry, is this a bad time?
This 9-part drama explores the undeniable chemistry and high-profile marriage of one of the most iconic couples of the 20th century, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. I chatted with stars Sarah Pidgeon and Paul Anthony Kelly.
I had such a wonderful time getting to embody this witty, sensitive, electric young woman who, I mean, people have said who knew her, the last thing she would want to be known for are her clothes. You know, there was so much life and vivacity that she carried with her. I hope people feel more familiarity with who she was, her great love with John, and just finding a great passion in their lives within each other.
My hope and intention is that they just are able to see these individuals as human. You know, they are both so storied and held in such high regard that they become almost mythological. But our intention, I think, in this production was to really humanize them and make them relatable.
Although stunningly filmed and acted, the series has too many overly saccharine moments, making the experience more of a fantasy than a biographical drama. Again, it's streaming on Disney Plus and gets a C. It's rated TVMA. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Hey, thank you there, Tony. It's time for us to jump in to Daily Digits. It's where we find those numbers that are inside your news. Your first number? 16, as in 16 years. That's how long Walmart held the title as the world's largest company by revenue until now. 16 years has a long time, and Amazon just edged out the retail giant after reporting more than $716 billion in annual sales. The company's e-commerce growth with a cloud computing arm drove it straight to the top. Walmart is still a beast, but after a 16-year run at number one, the crown now comes with free 2-day shipping. So I guess, actually, Walmart really knows how to roll back to second place. Your next number, 46. 46 pounds. That's how much gold an anonymous donor gave to the city of Osaka, Japan to help replace their aging water and sewer pipes. It happened. The gold, it's worth about $3.6 million, arrived last November and the mayor called the gift staggering as the city faces decades of deteriorating infrastructure. Now, Osaka officials say they're going to respect the donor's wishes and put the unusual contribution to work. The gift comes as many of Japan's pipes have outlived their service life. If infrastructure had a bling category, Osaka just won, well, best pipes. Am I right or wrong? Your final number, 1. Just one flying sword. That's how many weapons left the stage at a theater in Berlin. It landed in the audience during a performance of Richard III, believe it or not. During the final fight scene, the actor lost his grip of the sword and it sailed into the front row, striking a woman in the head. Now, she was treated for just a minor cut and a cool souvenir. The actor apologized and the show eventually continued because the show has to go on. Because even in apparently Berlin, even Shakespeare comes with special effects. I believe it was Shakespeare who wrote, "All the world's a stage." I don't remember the part where it says, "All the stage is airborne." Am I right?
Yes.
That's your Daily Digits for today, Jackson.
I love it. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
Yes, he is. I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. We want to welcome all of our stations across the nation.
We love everybody that's out there watching. Of course, you can check us out on our 219 different affiliates. Of course, also on YouTube and our streamers and the American Forces Network. Our local friends today in Butte, Montana. We want to say a big hello to our local friends. The station is KXLF. Did you know that, believe it or not, Butte was actually called once the richest hill on earth? And I believe at one time, most millionaires lived in Montana.
You're right, yeah.
And Ted Turner was the largest landowner because he bought a majority of it.
Yeah.
A copper mining city
Yes.
in that area as well. And then the Berkeley Pit, just one of the largest open mines. You ever been to a mine before?
Yes.
It is so, first off, you realize, wow, we as humans can do a lot of damage.
Yes.
But you think about what it was, used for, especially back like in the Cold War eras and stuff. All the things that they had to get and taken from the earth, and then there's these huge craters down there and doing things with them. I know in Utah there was one. That's why I say that.
Do you remember that heiress that died in a New York hospital? And she died a multi-bazillionaire, and I'm not sure who she left her money to, but her father was a copper miner from Montana, I believe.
Oh, really?
And that's how she ended up with all her wealth, and she had all these beautiful estates all across the U.S. And here this woman lived out most of her life in a hospital room in New York City.
You know, it's sad, which goes back to say about where you should put your health.
Yes.
Because you can have everything in the world, but if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
You don't have anything.
And it's all about a quality of life, which right now my girl here is suffering because of allergies.
Yeah.
So if you hear some of that,
I apologize. Yeah, the pollen here is off the charts.
Well, Florida, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, and we also go through, one day you have 90 degrees, the next day that's what we're going through right now.
Yes.
Well, you are here, so if you hear any sneezing, I told her to use my arm. It's to wipe her, her nose if she
Sniffling,
has to.
yes.
You don't know what's going to happen the rest of the show.
It's true.
So check that out. As you may or may not know, Jackson and I, we've co-hosted since 2002. So, she knew the old Mitch.
24 years.
Okay, but that's just crazy. It's just crazy. The amount of weight that I lost has changed, and I bring this up. It's something we started off the show talking about health.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
Yeah.
I found that once I lost this weight, I had gastric bypass 13 years ago, and it literally changed my life and just the way I saw life.
Yeah.
Because when you're overweight, you don't want to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like going upstairs. I remember the first time I went up a set of stairs, and I was at the top, and I was not out of breath. And I was like, wow, I was out in San Diego for Comic-Con. I remember going up there. Anyway, I bring all this up. There's so many great things that happen when you lose weight. However, there are many things that are not good that you realize, and I was on Reddit reading about this.
Okay.
I thought I'd share some of this.
Okay.
That it's not always great. There is some reality when it comes to weight loss. First off, is chairs. When you're skinny, chairs hurt. They do because you don't have any.
You don't have any cushions.
You don't have any cushions to go in it, and now, stand aside. Seats on airplanes are a totally different story.
Yeah.
But as a bigger person, you don't really don't think much about it until you lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Another thing that once I lost so much weight, I had this divot in my chest that pops out, and they say a lot of it is because when you're overweight, you hunch over so much. And I was fat for a majority of my life, or overweight, I should say, and so. I would gladly take my shirt off and show you, but we don't have the time. So sitting in hard chairs is one. Here's what other people are saying, by the way, that your armpits are actually pits. They're not just called that. When you're fat, you just have underarms.
Oh.
So think about that.
Okay.
And how much nicer people are to you. I kind of noticed that as well. I think, especially at restaurants and stuff. But I think that comes back a little bit to your own self-conscious as well. So, are there any bad downsides of losing weight? We'd love to hear them. Some things that maybe you have seen in your life as well.
Yeah, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
We got more fun coming up.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. So what started as a simple smoothie outing with his daughters turned into an award-winning children's book series. Author Wayne D. Kramer created Penny Pangolin, a lovable character helping kids navigate the big world. He joins us now to share the story behind his creation. Wayne, welcome to Daily Flash.
Hey, thanks.
So what inspired you to create the character Penny Pangolin?
Oh, yeah. So, kids and conservation, pretty much. Like, I had been a fantasy author before that and always have been. And over the course of time, had kids, have 5 daughters now. And they wanted me to be a children's author with illustrations and all the good stuff. And when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, well, I need a character that's interesting. And my kids had been into animals, into nature shows, and they fell in love with pangolins after seeing things like the wild krats and other books and nature shows. And I thought, you know what? This is a really cool creature. It's got scales like an armored tank. It eats ants and termites all the time with this long, sticky tongue, rolls up into a ball, all kinds of cool little features. And then plus found out it's critically endangered.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, this is actually a creature in need. So all the factors kind of lined up, and I thought, you know what? Pangolin is the way to go. A lot of people don't know about pangolins, but this is a really cool way to educate people and also maybe help a creature in need. Plus, it's just a lot of fun factors to it. So we ran with that.
The books are beautiful, and I love that you're drawing attention to the pangolin because it is one of those endangered species a lot of people don't know much about, and they're so crucial to our environment. How do your stories help kids deal with big emotions like bullying and responsibility?
Yes. So there are 6 books total out right now. They each are centered around a different virtue. Um, like you said, bullying, friendship, responsibility, taking care of a pet, even screen time awareness. So we're going for things that are relevant and timely for kids today. And I do this by weaving it into the plot, and by not being preachy. It's just kind of a natural progression, the way kids, Penny is a kid in her world. And so things unfold the way that it would for, normal kids today, like they would for my kids or your kids or anybody's. So, I think that's very important just to present the story in a relatable way. That's fun. It's got some humor in it here and there, a little bit of adventure, a little bit of emotion, and just trying to make it feel real, while also putting in some fun animal facts here and there as well, and just fun little things like hidden animals in the illustrations that kids can find, and some little fun things like that.
Wayne, I think it's tough to get kids' attention these days. There's no question about that. So reaching them through these books is spectacular. Even I think in the classroom, it's tough for teachers to teach these kinds of lessons, which are so vital for kids who are growing up. What's the response been from families and young readers around the world?
Yeah, the response has been great. I've been really pleased with it. I've had teachers tell me, that their classes have loved it. They've played videos of me reading the book, or they've had me come in to read the books. And I've had people do crafts where they actually created like little pangolins out of toilet paper rolls or
That's
whatever
gotta be
they used.
cool. I love
Oh
that.
yeah, it's so much fun to see that, to come into a classroom and see where the whole class has like put together an entire, wall of pangolins with all the scales and stuff. That's great. I mean, it's super gratifying to me as an author.
We just have a few seconds left, but I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
The voice of Bandit from Bluey, David McCormick,
Yes.
how did he get involved?
Yeah, so I met David at a Comic-Con event, and gave him a set of the books. He had asked me what I was doing. He saw that I had a vendor badge when I met him at a photo shoot. And I ended up giving him a set of the books, and later on contacted his agent thinking, maybe we could do something together.
I love it.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Wayne, thank you so much. We'll share this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
For generations, mankind has depended on one sacred device, the home television. A portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity. What do you binge this weekend? Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend. Because life's too short for bad TV. Streaming for the Weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Streaming for the weekend.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here, along with Andrea Jackson. Sometimes, finding a job later in life can be really challenging, but your experience might actually be your best selling point. Here's what you need to know.
New AARP research finds that 2/3 of workers over 50 believe finding a new job today would be challenging. AARP's Carly Ruskowski shares more.
Nearly a quarter of older workers are concerned about job security this year. While the market is changing, it's important to remember that your experience is a competitive advantage. It's also about being open to learning new skills and embracing new technology to complement your strengths.
Research also highlights the growing trend of unretirement, where experienced professionals return to the workforce to share their expertise.
We see incredible benefits when different generations work together. Whether you're returning to work or looking for a new role, AARP offers tools and resume assistance. We even have a free AI course available through March 31st to help you more confidently navigate this technology.
Take control of your career with expert advice and curated job listings designed for older workers. Visit aarp.org/work.
Well, from food and fitness to childcare and home services, franchise businesses represent hundreds of industries that touch people's lives daily. Here's more.
Thank you for having me. Franchising is really a great story. It's a growth story, and it's a local growth story across the country. We're going to add 12,000 new franchise businesses in 2026, more than 150,000 new jobs. So that'll put us close to 9 million employees working across the franchise economy, and $921 billion in economic activity this year. The sectors we're seeing the most growth in franchising are child services. The restaurant industry continues to be a powerhouse across the franchise model, but also more accessible investments for people looking to go into franchise ownership in things like pet care, home services, and the salon industry is doing quite well. So it's a great story for the country in 2026, growth story, but it's really a local growth story powered by these great brands. So we're looking at 1.8% growth this year. 2025 was more of a recalibration year. Wasn't the best economy with inflation and affordability issues, high interest rates. But as we've transitioned to 2026, the benefits of the tax law kicking into effect are really something that's creating a lot of certainty for new small business investments, people rolling their 401ks into new businesses like franchises, which is something you can do tax-free. So it's an exciting time to look at franchise ownership. So the International Franchise Association's website is franchise.org.
U.S. Aging has launched a brand new campaign to help feed older Americans in need. Here's more.
Millions of older Americans face a hidden hunger crisis. More than 13 million experienced food insecurity last year, and 1 in 4 is malnourished. March is National Senior Nutrition Month, and U.S. Aging CEO Sandy Markwood explains why connecting older adults with local, community-based meals is vital.
Good nutrition is essential to healthy aging. When older adults lack reliable access to nutritious food, their physical and cognitive health suffers, affecting overall well-being and the ability to live independently at home.
U.S. Aging represents the nationwide network of area agencies on aging which offer nutrition services.
Local programs like home-delivered meals and group dining are available in every community through area agencies on aging. Older adults can find connection, stability, and support through other services like medical transportation and in-home personal care that are critical for older adults to live well and independently at home.
Learn more at usaging.org.
Moving right along from emerging innovation to breakthrough technology, the Student Impact Challenge provides professional growth for young change makers. Here's more.
The Student Impact Challenge is a pitch competition where high school students from across the globe get to pitch their social impact ventures for funding. And what was really special about this year's competition is the fact that from the stage to the panel of judges, everyone was Gen Z. And so it was a truly youth-led competition, and it was a great testament to the Allstate Foundation's commitment to empowering youth ages 5 to 25 to serve and improve communities. And Donna, can you tell us more what it was like to be a winner in last year's competition and now return as a judge?
Yeah, so my experience has been absolutely amazing. I think seeing a problem in my own community and then seeing it on an international stage at the South by Southwest 2025 competition was absolutely surreal. Every student there was absolutely amazing, taking a problem from their own community, coming back to Austin where it's all happening and seeing it flourish on that stage was such an important message and such an important experience that I was able to have. But also coming back this year as a judge and seeing everyone else's competition, it was such a full 360 moment. It was absolutely amazing. I think every student that came there today, they all had this one thing in mind where no matter what challenge they were facing, they always showed up every single day. All of them had in mind that obviously change doesn't happen within minutes or hours. It's by showing up every single day, and that's what they all did. So seeing that in person was absolutely beautiful. And I think Alex and I saw that from being judges. But Alex, if you want to talk about what really stood out this time.
Yeah, I think what really stood out about all of these competitors was just how polished they were. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell that they were high school students. They were so prepared and came with such complex solutions to complex problems. And it's just a great reminder of what's possible when young people have the right opportunities and resources. And to learn more about the opportunities and resources that the Allstate Foundation provides young people just like these change makers, you could visit allstatefoundation.org or follow us on social media on LinkedIn and Instagram at Allstate Foundation.
Chicago is famous for many things, including their St. Patrick's Day celebrations and dyeing the river green. This year, they added something new, a show featuring pro jet ski riders. Check this out.
During the St. Patrick's Day festivities, Monster Energy returned to Chicago for the annual river dyeing, and they brought two guests. Pro jet ski riders Tori Snyder and Coy Curtis ripped along the newly glowing green waters in a stunt show, a first in the half-century-old tradition. Following the river stunt show, the celebration continued at the city's annual St. Patrick's Day parade, where Monster Energy's Java Monster team brought festive energy along the parade route while distributing chilled cans of Java Monster Irish cream to parade goers. For more information, go to monsterenergy.com.
I'm excited. I was very excited about the Olympics because I'm going to Italy this year. I'm so excited.
Yes, and let's just say kudos to Team USA because they scored the most medals I think they ever have in a Winter Olympics.
And our American hockey team, and the guy who won, it was from Orlando.
Yes,
he was born in Orlando.
The Hughes brothers,
guy,
the men and the women's hockey team. Team USA, congratulations. Woo!
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
Buzz, Woody, Jesse, and the rest of the Toy Story gang go head-to-head with a new threat to Playtime. This is today's must-watch movie, Toy Story 5.
To you, Forky, to Karen Beverly, to be your beloved bride.
Yeehaw! I now pronounce you husband and knife. Oh, poison the maid of honor!
Bonnie, there's a package for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play.
Oh, extinction, not again.
Bonnie, screen time's over now.
Okay.
I want to talk to you, Device.
Please, call me Lily.
Me and the toys have been working all summer to try and get Bonnie to make friends.
Yeah.
But then you had to ruin
Got it.
You're not even listening to me.
I'm always listening. See?
Now look here. Me and the toys have been working all summer.
Now in Spanish.
What?
Yeah, I got dibs on behind the dresser.
Woody!
Jesse, hello?
Is it as bad out there for toys as they say it is?
We're finding more abandoned toys each day.
We're down! Tex invaded our house, too.
I don't know, Jesse. Toys are for play, but tech is for everything.
I'm losing Bonnie to this device.
You got a friend.
Woody!
Came here as fast as I could.
Why are you wearing a dress, Woody?
It's called a poncho, Forky.
Oh! Someone needs a brown marker.
Halt! Who goes there? Whoa, whoa, whoa! I come in peace.
It's been too long, cowboy.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What?
She thinks you're old because you're bald, Woody.
Bonnie needs help from someone at least from the same century. So long, toys.
We're gonna need backup. No way. She's getting away, boss! Our mission on this planet is to make a child happy.
Bonnie still needs us. Come on, Bullseye!
Buzz, you stay here. I'm going with them. You don't think I can do it?
No!
Nice poncho. It's good to see them fighting again.
It sure is.
That does it. You got friends with us. We'll see when we look at you.
Good,
Bye-bye.
everybody.